Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, could be articles, research, even our own notes, and, well, we pull out the really important bits to get you up to speed fast. Today, we're plunging into what we're calling AI's ethical crossroads. We're looking at some pretty major developments that just happened in August 2025. Our mission, to really unpack how fast AI is changing things in policy with these cutting-edge models and how it's actually being used out there in the real world. But maybe more importantly, we want to dig into this central question. How are we really handling the, let's say, unpredictable currents of AI development right now, this August? We'll be looking at three key things: the UK's proposed AI safety bill, the launch of XAI's Grok 4.5, and how AI is shaking up urban planning. Get ready. There are some surprising facts here that should help you feel, properly informed about where AI ethics might be heading. Okay, so let's start with policy. Let's unpack this big one, the UK's proposed AI safety bill. So The Guardian reported its introduction back on August 15th, 2025. And the main goal, to regulate these high-risk AI systems. What does that mean?
Well, things like mandatory safety audits for the developers and strict rules about reporting how they're mitigating bias, especially for AI used in really critical areas like finance or public services. And if companies don't comply, we're talking pretty hefty proposed penalties, up to £20 million. Plus, they're setting up a dedicated AI safety authority. That should be up and running by mid-2026 to handle enforcement.
Yeah, and what's really insightful digging into The Guardian's take is how this UK bill aligns, sort of, with the EU AI Act. But it puts a much stronger emphasis on proactive risk assessment, trying to anticipate problems rather than just punishing them after they happen. If you put that in context, this move fits right into that bigger global conversation about responsible AI. It echoes things like the global AI ethics card. It's definitely a deliberate shift towards looking ahead.
That's a great point, that idea of anticipation. But it does bring up a real tension, doesn't it? I saw over on X someone at Policy Tech. On the 15th, they praised the bill's focus on safety, which, okay, is obviously crucial. But they also warned it might stifle innovation, kind of echoing the caution we've seen elsewhere, like maybe in Australia. There's a genuine risk here, that by chasing safety so hard, we accidentally block the kind of breakthroughs AI might give us, maybe in medical research or something similar.
That is precisely the core challenge, isn't it? Finding that delicate balance. We've seen it before with new technologies. Too much regulation too soon can absolutely slow things down. It might even push innovation elsewhere, maybe to places with looser rules. And sort of non-obvious risk here isn't just, fewer cool AI features. It could be missing out on solutions to really big global problems, especially if the rules make it too hard for, say, startups or smaller research groups to even get started. It's about building guardrails, sure, but not impenetrable walls.
So for you listening, how might these rules actually change the AI you use every day? Think about your banking app or how you interact with public services. What's the trade-off? Maybe a system that's better at preventing bias, but perhaps also slower to roll out new helpful features. Something to consider. Okay, let's shift gears from policy to the real cutting edge, the AI models themselves. And this one is, well, it's really interesting. On August 16th, 2025, XAI launched Grok 4.5. TechCrunch covered this. They describe it as a multimodal AI. And get this, 1.2 trillion parameters. Now, just to break that down, multimodal means it can handle different kinds of information at once. Text, images, maybe scientific data, all together. And that 1.2 trillion parameters, that's basically a measure of its complexity, its learning power. It shows how much information it can process and how sophisticated its understanding can get. And it's apparently optimized specifically for scientific reasoning and real-time data analysis.
And the performance numbers they're reporting are, frankly, staggering. It scored 99.8% on the MMLU benchmark. You can think of MMLU as like a massive, comprehensive exam for AIs. It tests everything from general knowledge to complex problem solving across tons of subjects. And that score, it actually beats the previous frontrunner, DeepSeek's R2. But what's perhaps even more compelling, beyond just the raw power, is the push for efficiency. Evaluations from Hugging Face suggest Grok 4.5 uses about 35% less energy compared to the last version, Grok 4.4. That's a significant jump.
Right. And that efficiency really matters when you see how it's being used. TechCrunch mentioned it's already being deployed by NOAA for climate forecasting, and apparently it's improved prediction accuracy by 28%. I mean, think about the implications for things like hurricane warnings or planning for climate change impacts. It's huge. Of course, the conversation online on X reflects this complexity. You've got at AI Innovator praising the power and efficiency, but then you have at Green Tech now, quite rightly, raising concerns about the environmental cost. Even with efficiency gains, training these enormous models takes a massive amount of energy.
Exactly. A 35% improvement is great, but when you're starting from such an astronomical baseline, the total energy use is still immense. It's a real challenge. It kind of raises a fundamental question about AI scaling, doesn't it? Are we just making huge models slightly less inefficient, or are we actually on a path to making truly sustainable large-scale AI? Is there a limit? And putting this in context, Grok 4.5 didn't come out of nowhere. It builds on work like DeepMind's AlphaCode 2. And it aligns perfectly with what analysts like Gartner have been talking about, this trend towards more specialized, what they call agentic AI. Agentic basically means AI systems that can act more autonomously, take initiative, make decisions within their domain. So yeah, Grok 4.5 is pushing scientific boundaries, absolutely, but it also throws that sustainability challenge into really sharp relief. It's a constant balancing act.
So what does this mean for you? Imagine that kind of predictive power filtering down.
Yeah.
Maybe it's much more accurate, localized weather alerts popping up on your phone, or maybe it's accelerating scientific breakthroughs that could, down the line, impact your health or the services you rely on. Okay, let's make another shift. We've talked policy, we've talked tech specs. Now let's look at AI's impact on the physical world or cities. On August 14th, Reuters reported that Singapore's Urban Redevelopment Authority rolled out a new AI system. It's called City Plan AI. And its job is basically to optimize how cities are laid out. It uses predictive modeling, real-time traffic data, all that stuff.
And the results they're reporting are pretty impressive. They're saying it's already cut traffic congestion by 22%, and it's reduced energy consumption in new building developments by about 15%. What's also interesting, Reuters noted that Dubai is adopting a similar approach for its sustainable city expansions. So connecting this to the bigger picture, this isn't just theoretical. This is AI directly influencing our daily environment, how we move around, how much energy our cities use.
It really is remarkable how quickly this stuff is being implemented. But, like any powerful tool, there are always potential downsides. Saw on X that Urban Tech was celebrating the efficiency gains from City Plan AI, how it could streamline city planning. Makes sense. But almost immediately, a privacy advocate jumped in, raising concerns about surveillance. Because, well, these systems need a lot of real-time data to work. And that makes me wonder, beyond just privacy, what are the sort of wider societal effects when an algorithm starts managing urban flow? Could it maybe reduce those chance encounters, the kind of serendipity that makes cities interesting, or even affect how communities develop organically?
Those are absolutely critical questions to be asking. Tech Target really emphasizes the need for rock-solid, secure data pipelines. That's table stakes to protect citizen privacy with systems like City Plan AI vacuuming up so much data. And your point about serendipity, yeah, that's a real concern. When you optimize purely for efficiency, you risk creating more homogeneous, predictable environments. You might lose some of that unexpectedness, those spontaneous interactions that really make a city feel alive. This also builds on how AI has been used before, like in disaster response, which also relies heavily on data. It just highlights this massive potential to transform our urban systems for the better, but also the inherent risks if we don't manage it thoughtfully, ethically, and with a real understanding of, well, how humans actually live.
So think about your own city or town. How could AI like this change your commute, your access to parks or public spaces, maybe even your energy bill? And what unforeseen consequences might pop up as our cities get smarter in this way? Okay, let's try and pull these threads together now. Let's unpack the bigger picture here. When you look at the UK's AI safety bill and then XAI's Grok 4.5 and then this AI moving into urban planning, taken together, August 2025 really feels like a defining moment for ethical AI, doesn't it? It really highlights that journey we mentioned, navigating these unpredictable currents.
Absolutely. It crystallizes a few key tensions. On the policy side, like The Guardian pointed out, the UK bill pushes global governance forward. It aligns with the EU, some US state efforts. But as those comments showed, there's that persistent fear of overregulation, that risk of slowing down the very progress we want to guide. Technologically, Grok 4.5 is a leap forward, especially for science, but it loudly echoes those broader sustainability concerns that Gartner flags the sheer resource cost of developing these massive AI models. And then in application, systems like City Plan AI offer huge benefits for urban life, but they absolutely demand that intense focus on data security Tech Target mentioned. And as you raised, a deeper look at the societal impact, how it changes the way we live and interact in cities.
Yeah, and this isn't happening in isolation, is it? There are wider industry trends playing into this. I saw a McKinsey survey recently. Something like 71% of organizations are now using generative AI. 71%, but get this, only 1% are considered mature in how they deploy it. That just highlights huge challenges in actually scaling this stuff responsibly and effectively. There's a big gap between just using it and using it well. And then you've got the Stanford AI Index, noting that AI development is becoming more global. It's not just the US and China anymore. Europe and Asia are making significant strides too.
And that global spread really underlines why coordination is so critical right now. As these different policies evolve, things like the Global AI Ethics Code, the US Action Plan, the EU Act, now the UK bill, August 2025, really drives home the need for countries to work together. We need unity to make sure the benefits of AI, whether it's in science labs or city planning, are shared equitably and deployed securely for everyone. The Guardian actually warned about this danger of regulatory fragmentation, basically, a confusing patchwork of different rules in different places. That could really hinder progress and make the ethical challenges even worse. The choices being made right now about governance, about collaboration, they're going to shape the trajectory of AI for a long, long time.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means we are right in the middle of a truly pivotal moment. The decisions being made today about how AI is developed, how it's governed, these will profoundly shape your future, from the design of your city to the medical breakthroughs that might affect your health down the road. So today we took a deep dive into the UK's AI Safety Bill, the launch of XAI's Grok 4.5, and AI's really quite remarkable breakthroughs in urban planning. It seems pretty clear. August 2025 is marking a significant point in AI's ethical journey. Here's a final thought to leave you with. As AI gets woven deeper into our laws, our science, even the physical layout of our cities, how much responsibility should we as citizens, as users, actually take in steering its ethical path? Is just staying informed enough? Or does making sure AI develops ethically require more active participation from all of us in these crucial conversations? How will you contribute to making sure these incredibly powerful tools end up serving humanity fairly, securely, and equitably? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the tech that shapes your world.